position.
I'm thinking about running.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
What do you think I should be, a congressperson? That'd probably be easy.
You got to go governor.
Governor.
Executive.
What state? Let me get a fucked
Well,
up
do
state.
this. We live in it.
No, I would never run against Abbott. I love that guy. I got to move somewhere
Utah.
fucked up.
Utah. You
I
could
could become
do
a
Park
Mormon.
City.
I'll become a Mormon. And
I
move
would
to
have
Utah.
a lot of fun.
So it sounds like Joe Rogan is gearing himself up finally to run for public office. Now, this has been something that fans have talked about for years, and he's even mentioned it on the show with other celebrities like The Rock, Elon Musk, and even the great Eddie Bravo. Now, I personally don't live in America, so I have no vested interest in like if Joe Rogan actually becomes president. But honestly, if the #1 podcaster in the world becomes president of the United States, it would be f***ing hilarious.
Whoever's running the country, by the way, you're doing a great job considering there's no president.
Right.
We've had no president for months.
That's right.
Okay.
Well,
Kamala
months,
Harris,
maybe years.
sure. But Kamala Harris has been campaigning. She has no time to be president.
That's right.
Joe Biden is gone.
Right.
Every now and then, somehow or another, they let him wander over to a microphone.
Yes.
And he says wild shit like, I like to take these Republicans and smack them in the
yes,
ass.
yeah, and then
Hear
he
that?
puts a MAGA hat on. He's getting fun. By the way, I voted for him today.
Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I don't think it's that crazy that an American celebrity is trying to become the president. Or as Joe was talking about, maybe becoming the governor. Because this has happened so many times in the past. It seems like celebrities gravitate to public offices once their career has really peaked in whatever niche they are in. So for example, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he initially ran for governor of California, it kind of made sense. He made millions in the real estate market. He made absolute blockbuster movies that stood the test of time. And if we are indeed in some sort of crazy simulation where any celebrity can become the president, it just kind of makes sense that Arnold would become the governor of LA. And this has happened in the past with Ronald Reagan and many other celebrities, so this is nothing that new.
Forget who told me this, but it's like one of the symptoms of a collapsing civilization. They start blaming things on Jews.
Yeah.
It's like one of them is they get very obsessed with gender, and then the other one is they start blaming Jews.
Oh,
We're
the other
in
thing is
both of those right now.
they make celebrities out of chefs. Like they get very decadent. This happened in Rome, and there's
Really?
Yeah, like they like people that provide you these comforts become celebrities because you're just
You have
living a very
so much comfort.
you're living a
Right.
decadent lifestyle, and
I never considered that. That's
so that's one of the things that people say is like a harbinger of the apocalypse. Is like
celebrity chefs.
people just focusing way too much on like artisanal donuts
Right.
or whatever.
But Joe Rogan, the conspiracy nutter, the Mad Hatter, the stoner, the guy with too much brain damage, the horse medicine man, the guy that said that one word a little too much. For that kind of individual, becoming the president seems almost inevitable. It seems like a storyline that's been written because we've probably seen a billion movies like this. And if you've been listening to these podcasts since, Trump went into office in 2016, Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan, any of these podcasts, any of these dark web podcasts, they've all talked about Joe Rogan one day trying to become mayor of some city or governor of LA or president of the United States. When Joe had Trump on the podcast, he seemed like he was a really, really big fan. It kind of seemed like he didn't push hard on him about a lot of stuff. But afterwards, Joe did have a lot to say.
Like, how do you say you lost the 2020 election? Can you prove it? Like, tell me. I gave him all the room. I would have given him an hour.
Yeah.
Like, tell me.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's plenty of information. They wrote a book. It's coming out. I'm like,
Okay.
Put it out in a digestible form. You've had 4 years. Maybe it's out and I don't know. I haven't seen it. No one sent it my way.
I'm willing to believe, and not willing to believe, we know that the tech companies and the intel agencies all coordinated to suppress certain stories, and like they all admitted that.
No question.
I haven't seen the direct evidence of
That's election interference.
that. Is hugely election interference.
Well, they said that would have affected millions of people's decisions.
Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I think Joe Rogan loves Elon Musk.
It's the most bananas thing ever. You have literally one of the greatest geniuses in human history, a guy who's simultaneously landing rockets, not just shooting them, landing them, having them getting caught by robots in the sky.
Yeah.
Then you have Tesla. Then you have Starlink. Then you have the Boring Company. I mean, the guy's simultaneously running all these different fucking things.
But I bet Rachel Maddow's pretty bright.
Elon Musk also got a lot of heat this week because he was endorsing Trump. This is what Joe had to say about it.
The U.S. government is going to have to either, unwind from all of those contracts, or Elon Musk's companies are going to have to unwind from him. This is an untenable reality in national security terms. Now that we know what we know about Elon Musk.
What is that? What do we know?
That he endorsed President Trump.
That he's a fucking genius?
They're very good at making enemies, and then when the enemies they've made treat them poorly, they are shocked. This is what...
But this really has been the wildest 12 days in podcast history. We've gotten Donald Trump. We've gotten... Who are these guys again? We got the vice president guy. We got... who's this guy? Of course, we got the Neuralink guy, and we even got the queen of them all, Tim Dillon.
Again, I do have
RFK's got
discipline.
to send the military into these places. Taco Bell, Denny's, they fucked us all up.
I say we
Taco Bell now has the Mexi Melters back. Did you know that?
I don't even know
Now, if any comedian should be running for government office, it should be Tim Dillon. He would make a fantastic mayor of some hick town in America. Is it just me, or would that show be the best show on Netflix?
That's what it is. A lot of these teachers are just activists, and a lot of them don't have fucking kids, and a lot of them are gay, or queer, or trans, or this, or that, or they're a part of the posse.
A lot of them are women too. Here's the other thing: a lot of them are women. Not to blame women, but it's like most of this stuff isn't being pushed. It's not like it's being pushed because a lot of people go, "Oh, they're groomers or pedophiles." Some of them might be, but a lot of them are just these do-gooder types that want to have medals pinned on them and ribbons pinned on them as to how great they are as people.
Right.
So they're going. So it's not all these female teachers. They're not all trying to have sex with your kids. They're just trying to get accolades from their peers, and they want to talk about what a great person they are. So they're just like falling for anything, and they're out there distributing, whatever it is, books or, telling kids because they want to be a good person. They want to feel like they're a good person.
They want to be on the right side.
They want to be on the right side of things.
That's a good point.
And there's a lot of elitism and condescension that comes from the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party used to be a party of unions, of workers rights, and it was a party that people like my grandmother was in for years because she believed that people should be able to have health care, they should be able to have sick leave, or they should be able to have maternity care, whatever it is. But then it became a party dominated by kind of corporate elites, very wealthy donors, at Wall Street people, finance people, and also very radical fringe elements that are advocating policies that most Americans don't agree with. And then you cobble together that coalition of interest groups. And the only way that works is if you condescend to, because you can't have these debates because they lose them. They lose the debates.
Right.
So you can't have them. So the way to shut down a debate is to tell people, if you don't agree with me, you're racist, you're homophobic, transphobic, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're not worthy of having this discussion, because they don't want to have the discussion. Because if they wanted to have a debate about healthcare, that's a debate.
Right.
People understand that.
Now, just to put a little more context about this last 12 days for Joe Rogan. Just in the last 12 days, Joe Rogan has gotten over 80 million views in the last 12 days on his new episodes, which is wild.
The video that I did with Trump is well over 100 million views.
Yeah.
Between Twitter and YouTube and Spotify, well over 100 million. The one I did with Elon just yesterday was this morning. It had 65 million views just on Twitter.
I don't want to upstage you. The video that I did with J.D. Vance got 3 billion views.
Billion?
It got 3 billion views.
Nice.
Now, the one thing that would have made this week crazy would have been the Joe Rogan experience with Kamala Harris. I'm not sure how the hell that would have went, but as you can hear from Joe, it was too much of a hassle for them to set it up. He wasn't willing to take a flight to her and only do 1 hour. So this is kind of how it ended.
I was really hoping I was going to get to talk to her.
I was wishing that you would too.
I mean, it's just the options were fly to her and meet for 45 minutes. And I was like,
That's not what you do.
it's, you know, Elon said it best yesterday. He goes, you really find out about people in hour 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can bullshit people for 45 minutes,
Right.
but hour 2 or 3, something's going to come up.
Well,
But here's the thing. I'm going to be nice to you. I'm going to be nice
Yeah.
to Kamala Harris. I would be so friendly to her. I wouldn't try any gotcha bullshit. I'm not interested in doing that. I
Right.
genuinely wanted to know like who
You'd
she
shoot
is.
guns with her?
as
She has a
person.
Glock.
Sure, let's go shoot. I'll take her
if
to the
she
range.
was on this show getting high,
Oh my God.
smoking weed, and then waving a gun around,
Well, she didn't have to wave the
then
gun.
I vote.
That's
So how about you like this video and comment down below if you know what John Fetterman is? Like, is he the Frankenstein reborn? Is he real? Am I real?
With the goal of allowing Ukraine to evict the Russians.
Pause for a
There's
second.
five
Pause for a second. Tell me you couldn't picture that guy with a ball gag and like
no,
a
I mean
leather
it's
type
that's the
bikini
least
on.
of what he has.